Hi. Hello.
Yes, greetings, greetings.
Greetings, Ansel.
Irene.
Can you see me and hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm hearing you okay.
Okay, cool. Hey man,
Seeing
it's
you.
great. It's great to connect with you. Please tell Shireen I said thank you. And I want to start by saying on behalf of Reggae Vibes, Ansel,
Okay.
how
Okay.
thrilled and honored and thankful I am to interview you today for
All
myself,
right.
and for millions of reggae fans internationally. The
All right.
meditations, the meditations are one of the best, most righteous bands ever to come from Jamaica. So I just want to thank you for taking the time to sit down with Reggae Vibes and reason with me for a little bit. And Ansel, because you are a legendary singer who has been making music for more than 50 years now, I want to, if it's okay, by way of introduction, uh, just to provide a roadmap, just an idea of some of the topics I want to talk to you about today, reason with you about today. Um, I want to try to talk to you about the early history, the hit songs, and some of the classic albums that the original lineup of the Meditations, yourself, Danny Clark, and Winston Watson, rest in peace, released in the 70s and in the early 80s. And then later on, too, of course, we'll talk about the lineup of the Meditations in current times, and for more than 15 years now, which of course consists of yourself, the only steady
Mhm.
component of the Meditations from the start, and then supporting you, Daddy Lion, Chandel, and Lori Webb, who you I know tour with.
Yeah.
And Ansel, I'm going to try to squeeze in some questions about your coming up days, your youth in Jamaica, because honestly, Ansel, I couldn't find too much about it. And so I just have a few questions about that, your background. And then
Yeah.
also, I'm going to try to squeeze in a few questions about your solo history. And then, as you know, I'm going to, as we talked about last week, I have to ask you about some of your collaborations with some of the greatest legends in reggae music, Bob Marley, Lee Scratch Perry, Gregory Isaacs, Jimmy Cliff, and more. And if you see me smiling, Ansel, it's
Mm.
because I'm like a kid in a candy shop to get to
Well,
talk to you about,
that's that's what the song say,
yeah.
Smile, smile, When you smile is great.
Well, thank you. And you're making me
Mhm.
smile now, and I'll be smiling again later
Mhm.
when I look back on this interview and when I listen to your most current album, which we'll talk about today. And actually, that's the first thing, Ansel, I would like to talk to you about is this album that you have out, the most recent Meditations album, which was released, I know, now close to a year ago, the album Smile Again.
Yes, the reason for that album didn't reach the people the way it's supposed to be. It come out in the Corona time. So when a lot of chaos going on all over. And it
Yeah.
so happened that song Smile Again written and recorded so a couple months before the Corona start.
Wow.
So like when it released, it just like it, saying what I have in mind from ever since I want to be happy again. Because after the Corona, everything shut down.
Yeah.
Nobody couldn't go anywhere, and there's a lot of chaos all over.
True.
So it's good to see we back on the street and that song release to reach the people the way they say, I want to smile again, you know?
True, true. And Ansel, I do think that, because of the coronavirus, like you say, and a lot of things going on in the world, and also because I think so much music gets released today, these days, online, etc. I think that really quality albums, even from legends like yourself, and the meditations can sometimes get lost in the shuffle, and people, don't know about them. So I'm glad that we're doing this interview today for a lot of reasons, but I'm also glad because, like you say, I think not enough people know not only about the song Smile Again, but the entire album Smile Again. And I'm glad, like you say, that you're getting more opportunities to present the material on that album to the people, like you say. And I know that you have a show, for example, tomorrow at Sony Hall in New York. How did the rehearsal go yesterday?
Great, great.
Cool.
And as I said, when the album released, we didn't have the chance to go there to promote it.
Yeah.
And it's the first we have a little chance to do some promotion in August, gone September to September.
Great.
We do reggae on the rock and a couple places in Iowa City. We really take on to the people. Them people were so happy, and Smile Again. The people them were so full of joy when that song playing.
Nice.
So that's what I'm saying. We didn't have the chance, so we could go different places to perform.
Yeah.
So the people them could hear that album.
I'm glad that you're getting this chance now. And Ansel, I noticed that many of the tracks on Smile Again, the album, were recorded and mixed at Mercy Sound Studio, which is also in New York City, where I know where you live. And I know that the album, I noticed, was engineered by the extremely talented Sydney Mills, a lot of the album,
Right.
who works with enough artists. And I was curious, Sydney is, of course, best known, I think, to many people for his work with Steel Pulse. But how long have you known Sydney Mills, and did you know him back in the days when he was in Jamaica too, or did you only sort of start to work with Sydney once you moved from Jamaica to New York?
Well, I know Sydney a very long time. When he worked, we always meet up on tour when it was with Steel Pulse.
Yeah.
We meet up many occasions. We meet and talk.
Yeah.
And the studio I used to do a lot of my work before. It was Philip Smart that passed away.
Yeah.
We do an album. We do an album together. That album name what's his album name again? Just before he passed, we do that album. I forgot that name.
Yeah.
Dangerous Society. I think it's Dangerous Society.
Yeah.
Yeah, that album. And then we work at Sir Tammy. Yeah, we do a lot of recording there. Standing Love. Many of those tracks we did at Sir Tammy. So after Philip Smart passed, Sydney Mills is the only outstanding one that we see around that, know the business, that can really do a good work. So we stick with Sydney Mills, and one of my brethren, you call him Mikey. That's where I record that song that I put out with Al Campbell and myself.
Yeah.
Same out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That record.
I'm gonna ask you a few questions about that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so Sydney is able to produce the sound that you want for the album,
right,
you're working with. And Ansel, the first track on the album Smile Again is kind of intense. And I have to say, when I first put on the album, because you're thinking Smile Again, but then the first track that you hit is so stressed. And so given it gets your attention, gets your attention quick, given the serious, somber nature of that song, it's not exactly the kind of song you might think you would hear at the start of Smile Again.
No, it was confusing to me. That song, so stressed.
Yeah.
That song, I write that song I think that song right over maybe over 4 years.
Wow.
And every time I tried to bring it to the studio to record, I did not. So one of the time I make up my mind just before the corona to do it. And after I record it and the corona start, it fit right in it.
Perfect.
Every words that I'm saying fit
Yeah.
right in it. That I
Yeah.
meet some friend of mine and when them heard it, them said, man, Ansel, what? You're a prophet? Oh, you? I said, well, I just inspired with all what I sing, you know. So it just hit the time.
Yeah. Absolutely, Ansel. And in February of this year, you released a very poignant official video for that song, "So Stressed," and people can watch that on
Yeah,
reggaeville.com or on YouTube. And I found it to be a
right.
very compelling, emotional kind of video to watch. And it's about a family that's struggling, just like the song is talking about, to put food on the table and pay the bills. And there's a husband and
See,
a wife are shown arguing, right, about
right. Yeah,
how to pay the bills. And it's really very gripping and kind of a gritty video. You're in the video. Who else is in the video?
yeah.
Are those your family in the video?
No, a friend of mine and my son.
Okay.
One of my son walking with me there and thing, you know. But
Is it,
looking at that video,
yeah.
that part is that daughter create that part and say, she listened to the song and she said, man, yes, she want to act that part and show what the song really saying, you know, and we
Who
go
is
ahead
that
with
now?
it.
Who is that you're talking
I
about?
did I did they call her Amila, you know.
Amila.
She named Amila, yeah.
She's the one who
She's the
plays.
one.
She's the one who's playing your wife in the movie in the
Right,
video.
right, right.
Yeah.
Like a movie.
Yeah, it's like a movie. It is like a movie. No, it is. It very much is, and I hope that everyone listening or later will read the interview will go immediately and check out Ansel's video. And you know, that brings me really to. I wanted to ask you before I leave that though. Is that video filmed in New York?
Yeah, from
It
in New
is.
York.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. What part of New York City are you walking around in?
That is in Prospect Park.
Yeah.
And yeah, Prospect Park.
And is your son in the video? Is that Liberty?
No, not Liberty.
That's a
That
different son.
that, that is Ansel Jr.
Ansel Jr. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, um, the title track of the album, like you mentioned, "Smile Again." I told you last week, and I wasn't lying to you. It really is one of my favorite songs off of the album. And the tune is, like you say, it could easily make you smile because it's a lot more upbeat than, for example, "So Stressed." But at the same time, Ansel, even "Smile Again" is a little bit about. Don't you agree? It's still a little bit of a song about pain, but then
Yeah.
a plea to God, a
Yeah.
plea to Jah to
Yeah.
to uplift and to make things better.
Yeah. Because you see what's going on now. When you listen to the news now today,
Yeah,
everything is going up. That bring more stress on the people, we the people.
yeah,
Because to keep the roof over your head now, it's really a struggle now.
true.
All kind of pain coming all different way
Yeah,
right now. So those songs just deliver the message to the people them who in need, so them can hear what I and I really saying to John public. You know,
100.
like you see, in it I mentioned the politician and warmongers, they're mashing up the world.
They are
Yeah,
mashing up the world.
yeah, they're
You
mashing
hit
up
it
the
on the
world.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ansel, also on the album "Smile Again," there are some really great cautionary tunes about you already mentioned one of them about the nature of the people that you deal with in life, and basically some very conscious ideas about living and interacting with the world at large. I'm talking especially about track 3 on the album Rally Around, which is a wicked track and one of my favorites, Rally Around.
Well, that song, I wrote that song off of two of my personal brethren. 'Cause I was ill during the corona time.
Wow.
And those two brethren was there for me. A sister brethren, one called Prince, and the other one is Sister Coochie. They're there for me. And they helped me right through my sickness and everything. So in that year, say, I want to rally around. I want to rally around the one who really cared for me, the one who really want to see I through, you know, the one who really want to see I prosper. Yeah, see my song where I write, you know, it have to be truthful, and it have to be something meaningful, you know, to what's really taking place on earth.
Yeah. Well, that song is very meaningful, and one of my favorites, like I say. And then also the song that you mentioned that features Al Campbell on vocals, that's on your album, Odyssey Mouth, track 8. And you know, this is also a very great tune. And I was just curious about this track a little bit. I you know, it's a tune about people who kind of talk out of both sides of their mouth.
Right.
Yeah. And it's really got a great message and it's got a great vibe to it. And I noticed that you produced it and you played guitar on it. And then I noticed that legendary drummer Sly Dunbar is on the drums on this track. So you know that this track is wicked.
Sly Dunbar, you know, is the #1 drummer, you know, around, because he's the one that play Woman Is Like a Shadow.
I noticed that too.
Many other ones.
Ansel.
You know?
Oh, great. Man. I noticed that too. And then has he been on, how many other Meditations hits has Sly played on? Has he been on some others too?
Yeah, he play on Miracle.
Okay.
He play Miracle. He play a Ram Jam session.
That was a tough gong.
Right.
That was a tough gong.
Yeah, we give Tough Gong that to put out. I give them that song to put out. And he play a song that I did named Quiet Woman.
Oh yeah, that's a great song too.
Whole heap of song. Life is not easy.
Yeah.
Sly played. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Do you remember Ansel when you first met Sly Dunbar?
Yeah. When I do the song Trick, that is 76.
Yeah.
No. Woman Is Like a Shadow did 74.
74.
And it was on tape. That's where I met Sly the first time.
At Channel 1.
At Channel 1.
Yeah.
And when I heard him playing that drum, I said, wait, it's coming like a marching. Pop, 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 pop. Bang, 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 bang. I said, man, you know? And then we have some great other song that he played, like Standing on the Corner, World at War.
Oh, I love that song. Standing on the Corner.
Yeah, he played some great song. Life is not easy. So much tune that Sly played for I, man.
But you recall, Ansel, that it was literally that day that you recorded Woman Is Like a Shadow. That was the first day that you met Sly and kind of talked to him and got to know him?
Right.
Wow. And then you cut the tune that very day. Was it one of those one take, one cut?
No. When we going to sing it, we take one cut. But that song, it takes over 3.5 hours to make.
Wow.
So if you listen up to Rancho was playing the bass, and we're going over and over, because when you go boom, 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 boom. If you listen, that was the last time when we go back over it, he made that mistake, and Sly said, no, we're not going to play anymore. It's going to work. And then just leave it as it is. Yeah. And man, the producer didn't like it.
Joseph Hookin.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
I was going to ask you, Ansel, how it's possible that that great song, Woman is Like a Shadow, sat on the shelf for 2 years.
It was just selling on dub plate. So in early '76, I saw him and him say, Ansel, that song, I sell over 2,000 piece of it on dub plate alone.
And I read,
yeah.
Yeah, I read when eventually when Dobby Dobson, who produced the Meditation's first 2 albums, that
Right.
when he got a hold of that song, and then Woman is Like a Shadow from Joseph Who Came, and then eventually was released in '76, that I read somewhere, Ansel, that it sold 40, went to #1 in Jamaica, and then sold like 45,000 copies in a month.
Yeah.
In a month, which back then is, I mean, even now, I mean, no, now that would be, because everything is streaming, but back then, I mean, 45,000 units in a month from a group like the Meditations. You didn't even have your name. I don't think you had even
No.
they haven't even decided your name. So I'm going to ask you some more questions, Ansel. I got a little ahead of myself because I got so excited and I have a few more questions about that song because I've listened to it so many times and I love it. But I'm glad that you told me about Sly. I really wanted to ask about it. I have a few more points about your new album, but I'm gonna hold off just because I'm a little bit worried about time. So we'll come back to those. But I mentioned, Ansel, earlier that you have a son named Liberty.
Right.
And he's not in that video like we mentioned. That's your Ansel Jr. But Liberty is a part of the Smile Again album that he did contribute to the album. And I wanted to ask you because he's in the music business too. I saw that he's involved in
the song. I don't cut you.
Yeah.
We have a song that we do together.
Yeah.
Jah always find a way. Me and him wrote that song together.
Yeah.
That is that's what the album name. Jah always find a way.
Nice.
And he do his part and me do my part in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
How old is he? How old is Liberty?
I think I'm touching 40,
Okay. So and I saw that he's been involved now in.
He tour very regular. He go to South Africa.
Wow.
He go to Dubai.
Wow.
He do his own thing regular.
He also does hip hop too.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking at that. Now it's a good opportunity since I asked about him to segue for a bit, Ansel, and just ask a different topic and ask you, because again, I mentioned that I didn't find this and I really wanted to know about it, a little bit about your childhood. And I know that just from reading online that you entered the music scene in the late '60s. And I know that you were born in 1951, I believe in Westmoreland. True?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And why did your family move to Kingston?
No, it's not the reason why.
Oh.
My mother,
yeah,
she was the first one when I was around 5 years old.
Yeah.
So my father leave now to England.
Wow.
Between when I'm 6-year-old, he moved to England.
Okay.
And the trouble for my lifestyle start that time.
Yeah.
They send me at another country here called Darlistan. And it was terrible. And some lady saw what was taking place and couldn't bear to see what Ansel going through. So she asked me if she put me on a bus, I would find my way.
Wow.
So I find my way to my uncle, and my uncle bring me to my grandmother.
Wow. And that's how you ended up in Kingston, because your grandma was in Kingston?
No, my grandmother sent me to my mother in
Oh.
town. at the age going like 7 years old and thing.
I
So the
see.
rest of my life is I grew up in Kingston.
I see.
I didn't know too much about the country here.
With your, when you were growing up in Kingston, were you growing up then with your mom?
Yeah, with my mom.
What did your mom do for a living, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, my mom was a hard working, like anyone. She worked there, survival.
Yeah.
Because at the time, the struggling was on the whole time. And, you know,
How,
life go.
yeah, for sure. I know that early on I read that you had a passion for, just like, I was found it interesting, just like Coco T, that you
Mhm.
had a passion for horses and that you trained to be a
Oh,
jockey.
yeah. What happened when we was living where the national stadium is up, that is in Jamaica there,
Yeah.
all Warp Road. My stepfather was a trainer,
Wow.
so the the the, the owner asked him to come and live on the premises. That is a place up there they call it Nisberry Grove.
Yeah.
It's a big, 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 big land, and a land without light. You have to use buckle torch and make light up there.
Wow.
Yeah. And while up there, as a young youth, I decided that I want to ride. That my stepfather didn't want it, wanted to do that. He was fighting against it.
He didn't want you to ride horses?
Yeah.
How come?
Neither my brother.
Yeah.
Well, he have him reason.
Yeah.
So the man that used to take me to apprentice me, he used to get up early in the morning, like 5 o'clock, and take me. But what happened one of the morning, I was this house and he start gallop away with me.
Oh,
And
wow.
I decided to jump off him because I remember one of the brother at the stable was mashed up for 3 months in the hospital. So when he run away with me and I am patting him on his shoulder, and I say, he, cool, cool. But I didn't know by patting him, he make him go run faster. so, so I jump off of him.
You jumped off the horse?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't learn that when you're jumping off a horse, you have to jump back way. You
Oh,
can't
no.
jump off sideways. When you jump back way, then you will just follow him, run till you drop.
Oh,
When you
man.
jump off sideways, you have no balance. So that's what happened to me. So my collarbone here didn't mash up
Oh,
thing.
no.
So
Yeah.
that give my stepfather more ammunition.
I can see why. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see why. Yeah. Being a
So
musician is a bit safer, maybe.
so there was another brethren up there that come who want to ride too, but it didn't work out for him neither. But what changed his stable, one of the jockey that come from Barbican, we call him Tix, but his name was Nicholson. He was riding a horse one morning and they start run off at the track. And there was 2 mango trees stand up like a man who hold a fist. So. And then the mountain run. The horse coming from this end. And the way I see in position, I know there's no way. The speed him going with, it will either take him in the mountain or take him in the tree. And I keep bawling to him and say, jump off him, jump off. And all I could hear, crow. And I run up this, oh my God. And the horse dead the evening. And he died the next day
Oh, that's sad.
around 12 o'clock.
That's sad.
So that mashed up the whole stable,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And they moved the house them to Cameron's Park. And the next brethren asked me, so what you gonna do when you go back in the town now? I said, me I go sing. And him say, so what you gonna do? Him say, I go drive. And it so happened that after I go live down at this place and call it Majesty Garden, they was bucking down the road
Yeah.
The trees them to make two-way road. And I saw this virgin about down the tree them all the time, but I never take notice. So where my yard is down in a place in California, back to Majesty Garden. There was a big tree there where a lot of people come and shade at the daytime. So I saw the tractor go underneath the tree. And so me look and say, what that guy favor Indian, sir? So I come out, and say, Indian? And he was so shocked. He said, Ansel! And grabbed me up, and at that time now, we start the recording.
Yeah.
So my recording that I could show him that time was a song for Laffodel.
Wow.
You know, named Bongo Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
That's a cool song.
yeah, and then there was another song that I do the harmony into. Named Never Fall in Love.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that one.
I'm not sure I do.
That one was lead by Winston Yearwood. No,
Yeah.
I'll never fall in love with you again. That was a big, big hit song, you know.
Now,
So go ahead.
oh, well, no, go ahead, Ansel. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
and from there now, you know, we just start jam down in the ghetto there, and after that, me do no, that's 68, between 68 69, when I just meet one of the brethren called Oswald Gray. We form a group and call ourselves the Linkers.
Yeah, the Linkers, yeah.
And then the Linkers now we do a song for Light Matador named Sese. And then we do another song. I don't remember what that named Loser. I don't remember what that guy named. Then from there we go to Laffodel and we do a couple songs well for Laffodel. And then in 72 I do Nyaman's Story.
Yeah.
For JJ.
Yeah.
As the Linkers.
Yeah.
Then 73, I booked the studio myself and was about to do a song. I'm sitting on the sidewalk. That's when I met Danny.
Yeah.
So
And
Danny.
he was with he had been with Winston Jarrett,
Right.
Winston and the Flames.
Yeah, but he just come down to the ghetto at the time and lived down back to at the time. So we more now, you know, flex together now, and him showing me some different cards on the guitar. And when I tell him I'm about to record that song, him say, okay. And then him say him play melodica. So he came and he blew the melodica on that song. And we recorded.
Danny Clark did.
Yeah, Danny Clark did.
Yeah.
And it goes on, you know, we just jamming and he was playing a band down there. And like when them go to the countryside, I would follow them, and then kind of then call me General Junior. Cause you know, I did love the Paragons. Bad. General Vice, you know. And the harmony that the Paragons sing, you know. I was crazy about it. So I was sing General's song. So I was just doing that for quite some time until Danny told me that George was doing some audition up there. And that's where I went up there and do the audition for Woman is Like a Shadow.
Yeah.
That's 74.
Yeah. Well, I also read, correct me if I'm wrong, but that during this time when you were, I guess when you were transitioning from being a jockey and from being interested in horses to music, being really serious about being a professional musician, that people like Toots Hibbert and the Heptones, that those were people who were encouraging you. I don't know, I forget where it was that I read this, and maybe an interview from a few years ago.
That really encouraged me. The other group members,
Yeah.
after the link, some of the members, one of them leave and come to the state. And also one of them turned Christian.
Yeah.
So it was I alone chatting. So I farm up myself with some other brethren in jungle named one of them named Constantine Brown, and another one we call him Peter. So Constantine Brown, oh, he's the one that took I Know to Toots Yard. And I remember from that day I hear Toots playing that I was singing a song, say, come on now, come on now, come on, I'm waiting for you. I'm calling, said I'm calling. I don't hear no voice at all. So when I hear Toots, as a man, that never leave my head.
Wow. Oh,
Never.
man.
And it's so funny I didn't record that song, you know, up to now.
Yeah.
And then he took me down to Eptone's yard. He's a snapping silver tone. So I met up with a lot of other singers.
Lots of different
And
artists. Yeah.
then we go one time to do some audition with Rita Marley. That is when Bob living in Trenchtown there near the cemetery.
Yeah.
And Rita was doing the audition. Then after we finished, she said, we need to work on the harmony a little more. So Bob coming through the wall, coming through a hole at the wall at the same time. And Bob said, well, how them sound? So well, them want a little more practice, you know. But that I was so determined because music was my heart,
Yeah.
you know. It was my heart, so I got deeply in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Where things, start, Ansel, to get a little bit murky, and I think you started to answer this, but you did sort of talk about this a little bit, but just to tell you, when you read about the meditation's history online, there are some differences depending on where you're reading, about the chronology and the story about how it is exactly you, Danny, and Winston got together, how it is that, who met who first, and how did the three of you come together as the Meditations? How would you describe that? You said
Well,
that Danny, you met up with Danny when he left the Flames. Is that
right,
how things started?
right, yeah.
And then Winston, I read somewhere, I don't know if this is true, but I read Winston was just on the scene at Channel 1 when you recorded Woman is Like a Shadow. No.
Sometimes the reporter write wrong
Yeah,
things.
true.
Now, what happened after meet Winston before Danny?
Oh,
When the Linkers said break up,
yeah.
when one gone to the theater and one gone the Christian world, there was a brother named Michael Black that he passed away also. He joined up with me at the time and was rehearsing together. So there was a brethren passing out 3 miles here and saw me and said, him friend have a brother that can sing, but he need little training.
Yeah.
So that was Winston. So I said, bring him come and make we hear him. So he bring him come and we go by the train line and was jamming, but him never ready yet. So I said, he need a lot of training. And that gonna set me back there, so now. So we never go along. So it's when Danny come along now in 73.
Yeah.
And then Danny ups and down now. They have a little band down there, which everybody come and do them little talent, what them have sing. So he come on there one day, I was singing. And the guy who really control the band take away the mic from him.
Wow.
And he get upset and start to cry and I go. So I said, look, so I go to the guy and say, look, his name was Bradley.
Yeah.
I said, look, I'm gonna teach you something. It's when you see a youth that try something, don't try to encourage him not do something bad. It's better you help him. Don't discourage him them kind of way. So I said, come here. I said, come here and come hold the mic. And then him still never come, him go away. So after now, we playing, jamming around in my yard now. He would pass through and him jam with Willie Clan, him gone. And then that continued. We was singing the impression song, you know. And I listen him and we are teach him and I say, no, harmony go this way, harmony go that way.
That's how you
So,
trained him with
yeah,
singing the impressions.
yeah. And him have that type of voice now that, you know, can really go out there. So we're training him and when I'm working them time there also. So when I leave now, Danny take him and bring him to jungle with them brother they call themselves Vice Santel.
Yeah.
Shant. Yeah. So anyway, we've been doing that for quite some time. So Danny do a song for Byron Lee named This Time. And so he was carrying Winston down there to see if Winston can get audition. So I wrote a song and gave Winston. And when Winston go down there, he didn't sing that song. He must sing a different song. And the guy that was taking the audition named Jerome said, no, I don't record those songs. I need songs that have meaning.
Yeah.
So Winston go away that time. And we didn't see him again. So after that, now, the same song I wrote for him, I sing it to the guy down there. And he record that song right away and just go call family man them.
Wow.
And record that song. So we didn't see Winston now quite some time. And then Danny said, come we go challenge one. We had a challenge one doing audition. I said, all right. So I went up there, me and him, and the virgin that was there doing the audition named as Hibbert.
Uh-huh.
And he know me because in 72 I did do over the January show. Just like the dew that cling to dawn, I cling to you, my love. You know, and he was the one that playing that keyboards. So he said to me, say, yeah man, just sing one song. And go on and say, if you run down your shadow now, you can never catch it. A woman is like a shadow, man is like an arrow. Him said, well, not sing anymore. I hit song that. Just like that. Come record.
One line. Yeah.
So the brethren know that me and him did sing the song, Never Fall in Love. He was the one who was supposed to do the harmony for that song. And we was waiting on him on the Gully Bank. And we don't see him come. So there come we saw Winston passing through.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So when we see Winston passing on, we say, youth man, come here. And him come. And we say, listen to that song here. Why you sing the harmony? And for me start sing the song. If you run on your shadow now, you can never, when me hear the man say, never catch it. Look on Danny, he said, Danny, I want to sing such one here. I said, the man have a bunny wheel and strong tenor. Man, we said, and we just hide the next brethren. And we're going to do that. We're going to challenge one and go do this song. Yeah, man. And from that, we start with her.
So if Danny, are you telling me, Ansel, that if Danny hadn't been, if Winston hadn't been walking through the gully at the right time, the meditations, the lineup of the meditations as we know it, it may not have happened.
Well, no, it would not. I don't think so. What happened after that? No. Winston no come around no more now. And we start to rehearse more now. So a lot of other young youths would come by us and I sing and we was there playing and lots of people coming from all different areas, you know.
Yeah.
And I sing. And, you know, we are sing like, we start inspiration them song more now, you know. And one day, you know, come from work and me hear Winston say, I record a song, you know. And Danny sing too. He said, few, he said, Darby Daxon. At the time, when we sing Woman's Like a Shadow, it's and them come and give me, within group.
Yeah.
Them time it was one come out as Ansel Linkers,
Yeah.
So we go and we do when him sing the song, Man Piaba, they put some
Oh,
more words in it. It was an old song. And that song took off in Jamaica.
I have to ask you about that song too, because that song, I hope you don't mind me interrupting you, but that song is so awesome. The woman Piaba song is such a funny song, and it does, like you say, it features Winston, and it's such a cool
Yeah.
song. I was curious though. I love the song, and it feels like a very distinctly Jamaican song. In fact, as an American, I'm not quite sure that I'm understanding everything that's happening in the song. I get the gist of the story is that their singer is wanting something to eat, and he's seeing an old lady, and she's selling goods, but all she really has is a bag full of different weed. And then the singer is explaining that the old lady is trying to get him to understand that man piaba bush can really fill your belly, but you have to cook it in a black pan. Now,
What's happened there now? What happened there? So when he came to I and tell I about the song, I was curious about the song because the first I heard that song, I didn't know what the song was all about. I just did like the melody and the way he was singing it.
Yeah, it's got a lovely tone.
I didn't know the meaning of the song.
Yeah, what does it mean?
when he tell I that it means some more words in it, I was just putting those words to have it last out for the 3.5 minutes, whatever it is. Never really realized what it was singing about, what the singing was all about, the meaning was all about, sorry.
Yeah.
Until there was a man I met over 3 Mile, and he was singing the song to me.
Yeah.
And tell me, it's an old, long time song where him say all these things that singing is bush. It's bush that cure you. So that is a mistake I'm making it. When I say full your belly, if I didn't know, have the overstanding, is when I heard it now, and after a while I get to start listening to the song. I know it's the bush they're talking about and what the bush done. I said, man, I should put cure in that song, man. I shouldn't put full your belly.
Cure your belly.
You remember him say, the only bush she never had was my cali weed. You see? So the cali weed is what cure your belly, cure sickness and thing. Yeah, but it happened.
True. I'm just curious too, because I don't mean to go back in time to Woman is Like a Shadow, though, as the song is so great, but did you write Woman is Like a Shadow, or did all 3 of you guys together write that song? Who can you credit?
No.
Who wrote that song?
No, I write it. I have
Like
that song. I write it long time before I met Danny. Before I even met Winston. Because that time is when we call Winston to come do the harmony in it. I write that song long time.
Now,
the first person
I
take that song to was Gigi. I come with Grow Your Dread and Make It Be a Long, Long Dread. And Woman's Like a Shadow.
Yeah.
And Gigi select that song. And the day when I go to the studio, him say, sing another song that I hear. And me sing a tune named Marry Me. And him say, yeah, man. And he never record Shadow or Grow Your Dread. Then I go to 90. 90 was doing some audition for Byron at the time, and I sing the 2 songs again to him. And himself come record the Wednesday. So when I go to Wednesday, until I say, well, Earth and Stone have 2 love songs, and his love song selling. So I said, okay. So I never record it. So I go down to Phil Pratt.
Wow.
Phil Pratt now was my best friend working with him at the time, Al Campbell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Phil Pratt said, we must come every Wednesday, come practice. And every Wednesday we go, we didn't see him. So the last Wednesday we went there, Al Campbell said, look, Ansel, you see that song that we have? A hit song. Do that song there for yourself. Make Phil Pratt Phil Pratt a joke.
Yeah.
So when I go home the time, I asked my girlfriend at the time, what a bill a house I record this song, what you think? She said, prefer me build the house because I did record this song sitting on the sidewalk and get to GG. I never get no money on fight, so better me build the house. So that's how I go do the song for Charlie One. So
Wow.
after we do it for Charlie One and it was sitting there, as I was telling you before that
Yeah.
Winston come and tell me that him record a song and
Yeah.
Danny record a song. So the song was Danny record was Babylon Trap Them
Yep.
and Longest Liver. So Dabby Dax released Babylon Trap Them as Danny Clark
Yeah.
and Winston Watson. The woman paid as Winston Watson.
Yeah.
So look into the whole thing now. We still never group. We don't group,
Yeah.
It's just
You
because
still weren't the Meditations yet.
no.
Yeah.
It's just because the three of us only can sing at the time to match each other in the ghetto.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid of the group singing now because the linkers give me a lot of trouble. This time, when I'm even going to record and looking for the next man, I can't find the next man.
Yeah.
This one will come today, the next one don't come. It was a lot of puzzling. So I was scared of going back into a group.
Yeah.
And then I go in the studio back now and I produce Trick.
Yeah. Trick. There's in 1976.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I do Trick now and put out Trick was the first song that gave me the movement in Jamaica now as Ansel and the Meditation.
Yeah. You guys
And then,
you guys landed on TV, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we was getting a fight because them ban it. They didn't want to play it.
Yeah, because it's so fierce.
Yeah. And then after that now, Dabby Dax to come back to us now. He asked me for that song to put out. No. Yeah. No, after Babylon tracked them, he come to me and tell me that after I do a Trick, and Trick was selling him said if I could give him it to release up here.
Yeah.
And I give it to him. And then he come back down and say the people them love you, why not call yourself a group name? And we went to down a Lee Scratch Paris through with Dabby Dax and we do Running from Jamaica and two more songs. That Ken Williams come to Jamaica and hear the song and said, Dabby, a big tune this.
Yeah.
Big.
The Running from Jamaica. Running from Jamaica.
Yeah, and Ken Williams take it and come up here and drop it on the radio.
So
mash up the place.
So I don't want to mean to interrupt you, but just to go back a second to what you just said, just to be sure. So it's really Dobby Dobson who kind of said, hey, you guys should group up.
Right.
True. Okay, good. Because I'm not sure that that's really known. So I'm glad to pin that down. And I'm glad you started to talk about Running from Jamaica because I've listened to that Ansel. I've listened to Running from Jamaica probably 50 times in the last week. And so I love this song. This is a song that you wrote, correct?
Right.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask about it because the song, is kind of dealing with the violence in Jamaica at that time and to some people's response to it, the political violence, to quote, run from Jamaica to other countries to take up citizenship. And to me, the song is so genius because it's at the same time, it's so melodic, it's so nice, it's so pleasant to the ears to listen to, but also it's so up in your face and it's very vehement, you know, the lyrics. Why did you have such a resentment, or why did the meditations generally, you know, because you guys sang it as a group, but why did you have, but you were the writer of the song. Why did you have such a resentment at that time for people who are fleeing from Jamaica to other countries, though as you kind of, you say in the song, you know, pointedly, not to Africa? But why were you having such resentment to the people who were leaving Jamaica at that time?
Well, you see, when there's a struggle, you know,
Yeah,
when there's a struggle, you have to come together and try to see that better come out of the movements.
true.
And the same people them that running is the same people them that destroying the country.
Wow.
They
Yeah.
have the people them living one way and don't decide to, the people them working like a slave and don't decide to give the people them what them really supposed to get.
Wow.
So when you cry out now and say, look, you want a change, them either send big neck police friend to come beat you or do some form of thing to you.
Yeah.
See? And then when the battle get hot, now them run.
Wow.
You see? So I saw the idea that thing come because I live in it, you know, and I see what was taking place at the time.
Yeah.
All what going on, you know, knowledge a lot there between politics. I see the way how these politicians have the youth them
Yeah.
destroying each other because of hungry.
True. Yeah. Poverty.
Yeah.
The song instructs, you know, pick your place for now and warns
Right.
when the gate is closed, we don't want no knocking. And then you also
Right.
you also sing, I want to ask about this. You also sing, we don't you sing when the gate is closed, we don't want no rookada.
Rokotuka when you shake, you know, when you shake the gate.
That's what I wanted to know, because is that a patois? Is that
Yeah,
patois?
patois, yeah.
Nice.
When the
Okay.
gate is closed, don't want no rokotok, you know.
I had to
Yeah,
know.
you know, I
I
know.
listened to the song so much
Shake.
that Wicked is the shaking of the gate.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Thank you so much for telling me this, because I really wanted to know that. Now, I was curious though, Ansel. Though you know, later on in life, you know, both Danny and then Winston first, you know, those two first, they later moved to the United States, and then later on you would follow them, I believe, not until maybe the 90s, but because you later all moved to the United States, did you ever in any time look back on that song Running from Jamaica, and you know,
Well,
maybe you
I
were a
get
bit
a whole,
harsh. Maybe you were a bit harsh because you guys left Jamaica too.
no, I get a whole heap of backlash with that song with my brethren. You know, Jim Riley.
Yeah.
Well, Jim Riley passed away. Jim Riley used to say, but wait, but you sing running from Jamaica in the United States. That means you I run.
Yeah.
You know, you have Glenn Washington, the man, the mouth every day about it, you know.
Oh man.
Yeah, a lot of people.
So a lot of people
No,
weren't happy with you.
no, but you see, it's not a matter that run, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a matter of run. During the political time, with me youth, I was more concerned about me youth them.
Yeah.
And it's not really me I run.
Yeah.
It just happened that a way that the mother brought them to the state. And she asked me if I could have them here for a while. So I leave them at my father's gates.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just happened that with the political things what going on and the environments and we are living.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just say, this is my youth. A friend of mine said, look, you have to think about your youth them now, you know. I said, but I can't, my career would mash up if I come at the state, come live. And it really happened because, you know, in Jamaica,
Yeah.
I was more moving up to the people them.
It's
But
hard. Reggae is a hard thing in the United States, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very hard, but it's my youth them caused me to really come
To,
here.
to, to come, yeah. For you did it, you
Yeah,
moved for your children.
right.
Yeah.
Children. I did it for them.
Yeah. Hey,
And I glad to because, with what going on, you will be involved with things that you don't think about because first thing, my thing is my heart is the love for the people, helping the people them,
yeah.
you know. That's how I see it,
Eh,
because when my yard, every day you will see people come, beg you little that no, beg you little that no. Give me a bus fare, no.
Yeah.
My children want to go to school and I will be always giving, 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 giving. So,
Yeah.
but when it get away now, we have a little shop out there where we don't know why I work it. We just work it for the people them. For me now get nothing off of it. And the man them break the shop at night time and
Oh
it,
man.
it didn't good for them too much. So you know what them do? Layer it me one night and chop off of my head.
Oh
So
wow.
so that's why you see my song them have to be reality,
Yeah.
because I will really take place in the earth and just give me the inspiration to sing and make the people them know what's going on.
Respect. Hey,
Yeah.
and so eventually when you did move from Jamaica to the US where Danny and Winston were, you guys I know
Now
reunited.
I know where they were, you know.
Well, when you guys reunited when you all three were in the United States for a while and you had some great albums after you guys got back, not that you guys ever
Mm.
really broke apart, but that just you were separated by distance. But when you were all together in the States, you put out
Mm.
some great albums. Why did you stop performing with Winston and Danny? Why did you transition these, past years to working with Lori Webb and Daddy Lion? How did that happen that the Meditations kind of, the original lineup stopped performing together?
No, what really happened there, no, it's not a matter say I move away from them.
Yeah,
It's just a certain thing happened during the time. But we was still singing together, you know. The
yeah,
only time the only time it wasn't people say we break up is when I was in Jamaica
yeah,
and my visa was cancelled and my foot was break.
yeah,
So I was in Jamaica for 5 years. That's why it's that I do that album for Linval Thompson, name
no more friend.
No More Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is the time when I do that album. Because
But
I couldn't come up here at the time.
what happened where you stopped performing with Winston and Danny? What happened where they don't perform with you anymore? Why is that they don't
No, no,
perform?
no, no, no. It's not a matter why we stop.
Yeah,
Why we stop perform together. After I came back here in 90, after I get back my paperwork, we
yeah,
started tour all over again with a different place, ups and down. Then after a while, Winston was given a lot of trouble in the group.
yeah,
And as it wasn't good for the group, I tried to talk to him because I love the group so
yeah,
much.
yeah,
Because when we go places, people admire us very much.
yeah,
They just want to see the three of us together
yeah,
because the harmony and the beauty about it, the three of us can lead sing and the three
yeah,
of us can sing harmony.
yeah.
Yeah.
All three of you guys could be the lead
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
harmony. Yeah,
And when it come on to harmony, there's no joke about it
yeah,
because it's when we do those album, those harmony for some singers. Ken Williams himself send some tracks down there for us to put on harmony and when I'm here, and then Lee Scratch Perry again. There's a lot of harmony. The Congos, I introduced Cedric to Lee Scratch Perry.
Wow.
Yeah, I am the one that introduced him to Lee Scratch Perry. And Lee Scratch Perry started recording. But the Congos wasn't a group with Rai was there before Wati, but he sing Eunice, wasn't singing harmony.
Yeah.
He was just there because a long time him going to scratch, you know. Right, he was there a long time. Every day you go, he was there with scratch. And then when Cedric start come around now, them try to do a little thing, but we have to done all the harmony them at the time.
The heart of the Congos is such a beautiful album.
Yeah, the heart of the Congo. And well, just if we just give thanks and praise to the Most High, if we just keep we doing the best what we're doing, and other artists come around. So what happened now from there?
Yeah.
Danny, we put Milton in the group, Milton Henry, and we do a couple, shows, and then Winston come back and say, change him, we'll do better now, and we put him back in the group.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out again.
Wow.
Different reason.
Yeah.
Maybe him never see where we are see. So it was Danny there now, and Danny have a little problem, and he went back to Jamaica. So is I alone up here now at the time.
I see. Yeah.
And then I have to have now. That's when someone introduced Chandel to me.
Yeah.
And start teaching the harmony, style of the harmony, and Larry Webber, and me carry them on the road with me. So them been with me now over 15 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Singing all the meditation songs just like you guys did.
Them doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Larry Webber and Chandel,
Yeah. Ansel, I wanted to ask you, just squeeze in a question here about a solo album that you did, because I ran into it. I was doing some research and I pulled it up and I was just so amazed by it and I wanted to ask about it. I saw that there was this live Ansel Meditations live in Africa where it was recorded on the Ivory Coast in Abidjan. I have to ask you about this. How did this album take place?
Oh, you see that album? It was such amazing to I myself. A brethren that I met, named George Kwaku, I met him in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
We, the meditation, was doing a show down there, going on tour, and I heard him and the next brethren, they call him Irie. They was playing.
Yeah.
While I was playing, I was listening to the playing of them, and I said that keyboard player is a great keyboard player, he can play. And the bass player. And it's so happy now for a few years now, we have them touring with me. Well, after a long run, after I produced this album and give to Easy Star, and that is the Ghetto Knowledge.
Yeah. That's a great album.
Right. Things never. Some of the musicians them shift up, and George Kwaku he may join up with some other players and all over. So he called me when I time and said that they want me to do a show in Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
I think that is 2007. And we say, yeah.
Had you ever been there before? Had you ever been to there? Had you been to Africa before?
No.
Wow.
That was my first time. So when we get there now, there was 3 girls, and they was learning the harmony and the musician also. Then after
these were African singers and musicians?
Yeah, all of them is
wow.
All of them is Africans.
And they learned all the meditation songs that are on that album?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, after I did the show the night, and the morning, the guy, no, after the show, then give me the CD. So me have the CD in my bag there, and you know, never really think about the CD until when I get home now.
Yeah.
When I do now, when I'm here, I plug in the CD and start play the CD. I'm say, wait, when me hear it never so. Me say, wait, what is?
Yeah.
Me say, no, I wonder if my ears giving me wrong hearing or something.
What was the best what was the best part of doing that album in Africa for you? What was the best part of it?
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
You know, I I was so shocked, you know, when I heard the CD. So I go to the record shop, Moody's record shop, and me say, play the CD here for me. And when Moody's put it in them deck, Moody's said, well, hold on. I will play the CD. Me say, we just go to the show and then give me the CD. It no mix or anything. And him say, Moses was amazed about it, man. And right away, now, me carry it to Bulwaki.
Yeah.
And Bulwaki edit it. If I'm edit it, now him say, yes. It's a bad CD, this man, and you know.
It's wicked. That's so cool.
Yeah. The thing where we never ask them during the time before the show, if them never have a video man, could video that show, man. I tell you now.
Yeah. Hey, I would love to see that if there was a video. I would love to see that. Ansel, it's getting late, and I know that you have to perform tomorrow. So I only have a few more questions. We've been talking for quite some time already, almost 70 minutes now. But
yeah, again, you know, we still want to big up before we go further. Yeah, I work with some great producer where inspired in the business here.
Yeah.
Man like Willie Lindo. Can't live out them. And the man they play my tune them long time. Them playing a studio from federal days. Willie Lindo been playing music for them way there. And you know.
You know, I was confused. I was confused at first when you said and I was thinking about, for some reason, I was thinking about wire. I'll be honest with you. When we were talking last week, I was confused because you were talking about Willie Lindo. I was thinking about Wire Lindo for some reason.
No.
Willie Lindo. And then I realized I figured out my confusion, and because I was asking you about Kashif Lindo, he worked on your album Smile Again too, which is Willie Lindo's son.
Yeah, Willie Lindo's son.
Yeah. I wanted to ask Ansel, first of all, give thanks for being so generous with your time. But you've had such a spectacular career, Ansel, and you have so many hit songs. I just want to mention right now, I'm hoping that you're going to maybe you'll let me interview you again sometime next year, because we have there's so much music, you know all your hit songs, and there are so many songs I haven't even asked you about. And I want to ask you about. So hopefully, maybe sometime next year,
we don't even touch on an EP that we put out a couple years.
Yeah.
I put out an EP a couple years ago with me and Ranking Joe. You know,
I love you know Ranking Joe is a staple in Los Angeles. You know he's out here, and he rocks it at the Dub Club all the time. So I need to talk to you about that album with Ranking Joe. But I want to ask you, Ansel, tonight, I have to ask you, because no interview of you would be complete if I didn't ask you about working with Lee Scratch Perry and Bob Marley, as you mentioned to me last week. And I want to ask you a little bit more about it. You were talking to me about, we were talking about producers last week, and that brought you to start talking about watching Bob Marley and Lee Scratch Perry working on Black Man Redemption, which of course the Meditation sang background vocals on, and you were.
Yeah.
I was wondering, Ansel, could you, for all the reggae lovers, could you please, tell me that story again about when you saw them working together in the studio and how you knew that showed you how, Lee Scratch Perry was as a producer and Bob as an artist.
Well, when I get there, as I was telling the people then before, was singing that song from 7:30 till around 11 o'clock. So one at a time now, when we come out back out of the voicing room, I thought the song done. And then Bob come around and Scratch said, well, you take a break. So Bob, so you mean take a break? The song not done, man. And Bob said, Scratch said, you're wrong, man. I know Bob that I sing, man. I Bob that. And Bob said, what, you think I'm on a machine? And Scratch said, all right, you know. I take a draw and drink some water and you come back and we could finish it up. So Bob look and Bob laugh. And he said, all right, come, sir. We'll go in there and do that song. And when Bob go back in, the Scratch was on him 2 pint and I show him some little thing. And no, I understand, real, not overstand what it really takes, for a good producer to bring out the best out of a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. I see what it really takes. When I work with man like Willie Lindo and Scratch, I must work with them people there. And I see the movements of them. We have another friend named General Lee again. You see.
With Scratch, you guys, the singles, the meditations recorded at the Black Ark, which of course but just to mention, No Peace, House of Parliament, and Think So. Those are some of the most righteous songs, I think everyone would agree, from that era, and everyone who listens to them will recognize them. And I was curious, what is you were telling me about Black Man Redemption, but you did so much work with Scratch. Is that time where you recorded? Well, let me ask it this way: what is your fondest memory, Ansel? Because I love Lee Scratch Perry. What is your fondest memory of Lee Scratch Perry?
Down there daytime with him and watch what him doing and the way he was working and the things that him doing.
Yeah. He loved it. He loved the music. He loved it. Yeah.
You would outside here sitting and a bird would come out there and a bird would and Scratch will see that bird and just running out there and put a mic out there and run back to them. Any little thing yeah, that's the man Scratch Perry was,
Oh man.
Yeah. Any little sound in me ear.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a run and mic that, take any little sound and it's a little 8-track him have, but he used to get a dirty track out of the 8-tracks.
Yeah. Now I have to ask Ansel also, because I'm like I think anyone with any sense, I'm a giant Bob Marley fan. Can you tell me, in the work you did professionally with Bob Marley, and we know that you were a member of Bob Marley songs.
Is when we was in the studio at Aquarius recording Black Man Redemption and Rasta Man Live Up.
Yeah.
That was his memories. But one of the most memories again is when we was rehearsing for the Peace concert.
Yeah. The One Love, this is the One Love Peace concert in 1978, which was the 12th anniversary of Selassie coming to the island.
Right.
Yeah.
And we was singing Keep On Moving. And I remember when Bob said, take it meditation. And Winston grabbed that note. Maybe someday I find a piece of land.
Wow.
Maybe I need back. Then I say, Man, when Winston and you know Winston sing natural, you know.
Yeah.
When
So
him drop that,
Bob, you're saying, let me make sure I understand. In the middle of the song, Bob looked over and said, "Take it, Meditations," and
yeah, when him say, Lord, gotta keep on
yeah,
moving.
he said,
Lord,
take it. He said, take
I've
it,
got
and
to get on down. Then he said, take it over meditation.
oh
And,
my gosh,
and Winston grabbed Bonnie Wheeler's spot.
wow,
And
that is.
who that man that amazed Bob said, what? Bob run come up and said, Tyrone, I realize this,
Did
you
you
know?
did you guys open that concert? Were you guys
Yeah,
you
yeah, we
were
was the first one open the concert.
I read somewhere, and I don't know if it's true, Ansel, but did Bob ask you guys to open the concert?
Yeah. No, didn't ask us. Him say he wanted to come sing two tune and then sing two tune with him on stage. But it's Tommy Coward, he's the one that put me there to open first.
Were you guys scared at all? Were you guys scared at all about
Well,
the
well,
violence?
well, at that time,
Yeah,
people it's scared, you know. It wasn't an easy thing, you know. People is scared because, you know, it was a political thing. You don't know what would happen with so much thousand people around gathering that
yeah.
stadium. You don't know if the two political, you know, rival are going. So people was tense,
Did you
you know.
smoke did you smoke a lot of weed before you got on stage?
No, I never smoke, you know.
What? You
No,
never
no, I never.
smoke?
No.
You've never, can I just to ask, because someone blew my mind with this recently too. I think it was Judge from the Mighty Diamonds. Judge told
Mm,
me he's never smoked before too. Are you
no,
saying are you
I don't.
saying you've never smoked?
No, smoke wasn't for me. See,
Oh,
when I just start going the studio, I couldn't sing in a smoke at all.
wow. It
You
bothers
know,
you. Yeah.
yeah, them have to open the studio door and blow it out before
Wow.
I can go really sing.
Yeah.
You know,
Interesting. Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. Now, I have to ask also about Gregory Isaacs because, I love Gregory Isaacs and I love that song, Mr. Cop. Um,
Mm-hmm.
can you tell me, Ansel, what you remember most about Gregory and working with Gregory?
Why? Gregory's a one in Ireland, man. One in the world, not Ireland.
Yeah.
In the world. In movements, you know.
Yeah.
If you're on Gregory, man, you have to have your movie camera, you know, because if him do everything him say and do is a movie thing that you see
Yeah.
them people act, you know.
Yeah.
Some of these people go act, but majority Jamaican no need go act, you know. The movement is real. So what what you see is what you get. And I know
Nice.
pretending. You know,
Yeah.
Greg was man, if you run Gregory and hear Gregory talk and it will move and you know,
He was
you
a
have to just
genuine,
laugh, man.
he
You
was a
know, mystic man.
yeah, Mystic Man.
Mystic man. Yeah, mystic man. Gregory man.
Nice.
You know, you know, Jamaica have some great artists, you know, were really, you know, I don't know for what reason, you know, them not around here with us. Because when you look at a man like Peter Touch, you look at Bonnie Whale, the man there, if you Bob himself, you
Yeah.
know, them people there, the paragons. I mean, John Walsh, you know, Slim Smith, Delroy
Yeah.
Wilson.
The
If you just
unique,
go down the line,
yeah,
you
you
know,
have, you,
Dennis Brown,
yeah.
just go down the line with them man there, how powerful them man there was, you know,
Yeah.
and with them bring the recognition, with them bring to Jamaica all over. But right now, you know, me not too dig where the young youth them a deal with now. I feel them time still, you know, but we not too them no motivate I with where we are going now with them now. You know, the talking and the fighting and the tracing one another and telling one another. No, me not dig that.
Yeah.
Rasta feeling. A Rasta
Yeah.
deal with peace and love.
And not my
See?
thing that, right? And not my
No,
thing
no. I
that.
know my thing that, as Don Angelo would say. I know my thing that,
That
you
and
know.
just not everyone may know that, but that's a song on Ansel's new album.
Yeah.
Not my
Don
thing that,
Angelo.
which is a great
Yeah.
song. Ansel, because I'm confident that you and I are going to keep in touch, and God willing, I'll get another chance to reason with you.
Mm.
I only have two last questions for you tonight before we hang up, and you go and
Okay.
get some rest for your show tomorrow night
Yeah.
at the
Because
show.
as I said that, you see this I heard stay.
Yeah.
I do operation on it a couple months ago.
Wow.
So I don't know, it giving me some little problems still. So
So
I went to the doctor today. I
yeah.
think he gave me around 5 injections in it. You see,
Oh
it's all
my.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Are you gonna be
but
able to perform tomorrow?
that can't stop I, man. I know my throat.
Nice. Nice. Ansel,
Mm.
Ansel, as 2022 comes to a close and we look towards 2023, are there any new albums, new collaborations, any other new musical projects that all the meditation fans around the world, and we're talking about a lot of people, that they should keep a watch out for? What's next for Ansel Cridland and the Meditations?
Well, I don't go back in the studio yet, because I don't feel pleased yet with this new album. I know, say, this new album,
Smile Again.
Smile Again, and this album is so great.
It
You know when
is.
when you've done something and you feel it in your heart.
Yeah.
I know you don't reach the people, and it do not get where it's supposed to get yet.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
people,
still have hope of still promoting this album before I even think of the studio now, because the message on this thing, on this album here, is very great. Great
yeah,
message on it.
I
It's no
agree.
joke.
I
It's what
agree.
happened to us right now. Life of living, suffering,
Yeah.
people pressing all over, things happening,
True.
war. Look, we are going to Ukraine. And that this album all I talk about, and we look there. With
Yeah.
you leave your home, you're not sure you will go back home. There always some ambush on the road and some farmer thing are going.
Yeah.
A train station and all of them things, you hear all them, the practice thing are going. So that we are saying about. And
Yeah.
we just want people to just listen and try to do them very best. And them young youths, we are going out subway and cut up one another, and them people are, we have just beg a piece of Rasta man come and for really
Respect. Respect,
bring
Ansel.
to the people. And risk that we think about, We don't
Yeah.
think about no go fight nobody and war with nobody. We know warmongers are. And we don't like we are going out of the world right now. We don't
Yeah.
like it.
Finally, I thank you so much for saying that, Ansel. And Ansel, I want to thank you yet one more time, a last time. It's truly been a great honor and a pleasure to connect with you. And I
Yeah,
really,
man.
I hope we'll stay in touch, Ansel.
What's up, man?
It's a blessing to meet you. But before we hang up for tonight, before we hang up, Ansel, is there any last message or any last words you want to convey to all the masses of Meditations fans all around the world, people who have been listening to the Meditations now for 50 years, maybe more, and we love your music, we love the Meditations? What's the final message that you want to give to all the Meditations fans?
Let's try to love each other and stick with each other. But no, you have youths, focus on them right now, because what the youths them are really doing now, these young youths, it's unbelievable. We don't want to see that happen anymore.
Yeah.
I just looking at some young youths that killed 17 children, people were there. 17, and you just reached 24-year-old. Why? Why are you doing that? Why are you throwing away your life so young?
Yeah.
What, you don't have a future. We
Yeah.
talk, the parents, them, please stop by your youth, them gone. And our meditation fan, stick to the music, because the music is what brings unity and peace to us. Just stick
Respect.
to the music. Yes, I.
Respect. Respect. Ansel, I wish you all the best at your show tomorrow, and we'll be in touch after today. And give thanks to
Yeah,
Shireen.
and the show is not a show, you know, is a Peter Touch tribute.
Tribute.
Yeah, them doing and I honor to be there because here you know Peter Touch die talking about release ganja and watch and the way them fight ganja, I don't see them fight crack and coke them way there. Them fight ganja more anything.
Yeah.
So and Peter Touch
Hypocrites.
died for that. Yeah. And right now, see how many people selling ganja now free, the government them.
True.
As
True.
Biden said, people will lock up for ganja for freedom.
Yeah.
Them should because they cannot sell it now and have
Yeah.
them locked down in a prison. As long as them not kill nobody. And I just we there go lock them for freedom, man.
Respect.
Yeah, man.
Respect. Well, Ansel, all the best to you, my friend, and we'll be in touch. You take care and best to Shireen, okay, my friend? Take care.
Yeah, man. One
Bless
love.
up, Ansel.
All right. Bless up all the friends, them, General Lee, Rankin Joe, sparring partner, them there, you know. Who everyone, you know, the sons, all my sons, them and all son, all the brethren, them, England, Jamaica, Canada, all over, family, Ansel, Cridland, meditation, say, God bless, peace and love.
One love, Ansel.
Yeah, and give thanks for your moment also.
Respect.
All right.